What's up, everybody? It's Jason, the Zombie Collector, and I don't know if I'll stay on very long. Might just be a quick one and done. I try to give um, videos where people send me things a little bit of the extra time, and I just go live, or like my pickup videos that I've done at eBay or whatnot. But I want to do this one just for nostalgia purposes, kind of go back and remember what I sent off because, as we all know, when you send off to PSA, it could be the better part of a year to get anything back. And I have a vintage order I'm going to send out of, I believe. I already sent like 10 cards, but I think I need a 20 to have the bulk order submission or whatever it's called. So I need to go through and pick up 10 more cards. So there's already 10 there. And I took pictures of those. I didn't do a video. I'm not big on doing videos. Hey, what's up, Ron? I'm not big on doing videos of what I send off because I kind of like it to be a surprise for everybody. But quite frankly, at this point, we all know ain't nobody going to remember. I don't even remember what I already sent off to the guy I use who's doing the PSA submissions. But I needed 10 more. So I thought, this would be a good way of doing it. I'll take a picture also of the cards so I can keep track of everything. But I thought I'd just show off the cards I'm going to send. Nothing crazy, I don't think. Nothing that's going to blow your panties off. Well, maybe will blow off your panties, Ron, but not anybody else's possibly. And, my vintage card collection is not huge. I do have, a decent amount of cards, but nothing crazy. And the cards I do have, some of them I'm like, do I really want to get them graded? They're not probably worthy to get graded. Because, I don't really care at the end of the day about the grades. I really do not care about the grades, but at the same time, I don't want to spend $10 per card and then get like a 1 on a 1960s card. No one wants to do that. So I want to be somewhat like realistic. Yeah, me too, Ron. I want to be somewhat realistic, not just to blow my money on something that's not gonna do me any favors in the long run. So I want to be somewhat purposeful and sending out the cards. And then my dad is also joining in on this one. And I sent most of my dad's cards already, but who I'm using, I think he thought he had more of the pre-1971 cards for the vintage card submission, and then he didn't have any or only had a couple. So I need to come up with another 10 cards or something to kind of make it the full 20 or whatever it needed. So I was like, sure, I'll go ahead and do another. I'll grab a few more cards. And since I haven't been able to make it down to my dad's, I don't know. I don't want to keep having my friend wait. And so I'm going to go ahead and just grab what I have. Like I said, I have, a handful of cards that might be worthy. So these are the ones I'm going to send off. So this video is probably not going to be super long. Less people pop in. We chat. These are just going to be some of the stuff I show off. I will say a lot of the card savers are what stuff I've had laying around because, as you know, card savers are becoming hard to find. And even though I have BCW next to my house in the next town over, they still have like a month to 2 months out before they'll have more. So I got to order in. I'm hoping I'm going to get it. I haven't placed the order. I just have it in my shopping cart. So we'll see. I'm probably going to pull the trigger on that this week. But until then, these are the cards I have in the card savers. And like I said, we'll see. I heard that a lot of people are doing the same thing. They're just sending anything they have this card saver wise. And I even heard that they said PSA is even taking top loaders right now because they know how hard it is to get card savers. So they're even letting people sit in with top loaders because of that very reason. So we'll see. So the first card I have is this right here, the 1971 American League RBI leaders card with Harmon Killebrew and Frank Robinson right there. But most importantly, I got it because I'm getting it for Reggie Smith. Because he's definitely the GOAT. There we go. That's a little bit less there. So I think we'll send this card off. And honestly, guys, here's the back. It's pretty clean. I hate that there's a glare on there. So like the old glare bears showing up again. If you come to my videos and you see old glare bears always popping up in the videos. I wish there was a better way of doing this, but I guess that's the way the lighting is. Maybe I don't want to open up the window over there, the window light. So as you all probably know, hey, what up, Jeremy? So as you all know, like, I'm not, most of these cards, if not all of these cards, are going into my PC. And that's another reason why I don't send like a crap ton of cards, because I usually keep them for my collection. So I don't have a lot of money to be frivolously just doing nonstop PSA orders. So for every order I send out, I may have one or two cards that I probably will flip to try to recoup some of the loss. And even then, I mean, who knows what the grades are going to be and if it's even worth it. So, like I said, it is what it is. So there's that one. So I'm trying to be somewhat mindful of not going too extreme with the card orders, but also have quality over quantity. And then if I know I'm not going to get anything back that's going to blow my socks off or Ron's panties off, make sure that I have things I'm okay with, whatever the grade is, because more than likely they're going to be in my collection. I'm not going to do like a resale necessarily unless times get tough or whatever. So my next one up is a 19, I believe 57. Was that right? Yeah, 57 Carl Erskine. This one looks pretty good. I think it looks really good. I think the centering, obviously, the centering doesn't look too bad either. From top to bottom is a little bit maybe there, but the back's super clean. As you all can see, I'm trying to get the glare out of there. There you go. Well, you're gonna have to go commando if your panties blow off, but yes. So I got the 1957 here, Carl Erskine, and again, Carl Erskine, you might be thinking, why grade a Carl Erskine card if you're not going to grade one of his older, original, like real, 50s card, like early 50s cards or late 40s or whatever. And it's, he's in the town I live in, he lives in the next town over, and now that Tommy Lasorda has passed away, I could be wrong, but I think Erskine may be the last Brooklyn Dodger still alive. I could be wrong, and there may be some other ones. If you're in here or if you watch this video later, you feel free to correct me. But I mean, Carl Erskine has to be in his late 80s or early 90s, I would assume. I think he was older than Lasorda. I think he was playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers before Lasorda even got there. So if that's the case, he's probably 3 or 4 years older than Lasorda at least. And so there you go. All right, PSA 4 on this one. That's not too shabby. I'll take it. I'll take that. Take that. So there's that. And the next one up is a Johnny Padres right here. So that's the next card I'm going to send off. I don't really talk about it a whole lot on my channel, but I'm a big Brooklyn Dodgers fan. And if I can try to get Brooklyn Dodgers cards that look pretty clean like this one here, I'm going to buy them, and I want to get them graded. And again, if they come back, nobody wants to get like a 1 or a 2 on a 50s card. I mean, I'm okay with a 4 or 5. Obviously, anything better would be great. I don't really want to get a 1 or a 2. A 3, I probably could be okay with, I guess. But you want to have somewhat of a decent. I'm trying to send every card I send. I try to make sure there's no creases in it, and that the corners are as sharp as they can possibly be. And obviously, I'm not that big on touching the card or really looking over the card for surface issues. So for me, it's more about the centering. Ron, thanks. Well, there you go, Ron. Maybe I'll just end up having to buy a bunch of like their post original cards, like all their remake and reprint cards they make nowadays, like their modern day Brooklyn Dodgers cards. Then maybe it'll show up of like Pee Wee Reese and Jackie Robinson and all those guys, because that's all I can really afford on a regular basis. But this is the Johnny Padres. I think it's a good looking card. I really like this card. So I got this for a really decent price back in the day. So I thought this would be a fun one to have and get it graded. I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, the corners are pretty sharp on it. If you can see the corners, they look pretty good up there. There doesn't seem to be any really registration issues. It looks to be pretty centered for all things considered. Again, I'm not expecting to get, like hitting it out of the ballpark, if you know what I mean. So there's that one. Next one up is the 1968 RBI Leaders card with, I believe, 3 Hall of Famers. Willie McCovey, Ron Santo, and Billy Williams. Right here. So I want to send that one off. And there he is. There's the back. Oops. Whoa. As I almost dropped it. But again, this is another card that looks very good, like really nice centered. There is a little corner here. I think you can see the corners a little bit. Has a little bit of a soft corner, as does it is on this side there. Has a little soft corner. And I don't, like I said, I'm not expecting this to. I'm hoping, the card is, has a decent return. But it's cool. I don't have any Willie McCovey cards. Really have maybe like this one and like one or two other ones. So I thought, hey, I'll get this one graded and see how it turns out. I am going to be on the lookout for a lot more singles. I think this year I haven't done a 2021 video. I want to try to get one done before at least January is over. I kind of want to do one video where I talk about it, but I really want to kind of focus on some vintage singles. And then this is my price range because my idea is to buy them at a decent clip, maybe a couple times a month, buy, between 5 to 8 vintage card singles, and then within a month after two or that thereafter, send them off to get graded, so I can kind of keep it going. That's my idea. Now, is that what's going to happen? I don't know. That's my idea. Here's one I really like. This is the Cincy Clouders with Frank Robinson right there in the middle. And this is another, I feel like, a good-looking card. It's pretty well centered. I just love this card. It's may the Schwartz be with you. Don't ever cross the streams. Everybody's holding their bat right in front of their Johnson. So you got that. So you have Bell, Robinson, and Lynch all right there together. Hey, what's up, Gary? Let's see. Some cards I like to get a night and one card. I mean, again, I said this, I believe, in the last 2 years, but I like to get one 1984 Don Mattingly rookie card. Obviously, I want that card pretty bad. That's one that's probably up there. And I kind of want to get it graded. I honestly don't even care. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that about Billy Williams and Ron Santo. Probably work on my Ichiro collection, get some more of those. But, I mean, honestly, I like to get a Sandy Koufax card. I would like to get a Roberto Clemente. And, maybe like some of the early cards. And I mean, in that situation, I'd be looking at get a raw card there and then probably get it graded. I mean, I don't want one that's all beat up. I mean, I don't mind paying a little bit of a premium, but I mean, right now with vintage, it's probably the heydays of getting lucky and finding a raw card that's halfway decent cost-wise. That ship's probably sailed, so who knows. Hey, what up, Patrick? So, showing probably this will be one I send off in the lot to the 20-card lot. All right, next up. Let's see. This is another one right here. Don Newcomb. Now, this one I know is terribly off center. I obviously know that from left to right. Or, I'm sorry, right to left. It's off center. Excuse me. But I really want to get this one graded. I like this card. I'm not like I said before, as most of you all know, I'm more about trying just to get the card graded. I hope I'm not punching the nuts too hard on the off-centeredness, but I'm sure I'm going to get like what an OC is. That what is off-center? I think that's that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them giving me that grade if it gives me a little bit of a higher grade. But then now I'm looking up here and it's miscut, I think, too. Maybe. So I might end up having to switch this card out now that I'm looking at it. But if you look at the very top there, you can see it's been miscut. I think that's probably what you would call a miscut. So they might give me a so I may I'm having to switch this out with another card. I might have to put this off to the side. I didn't really pay attention to that until just now. But that's pretty off-centered or miscut. But I've been trying to get. I have another Don Newcomb that I really like, and I had that in this order originally, but then I was looking at it and it has a soft crease at the corner of the car, and it kind of goes up into the actual you know, color of the car, like there's a blue area down in here. I want to say it's like a 1957 card or something, but it's like an all-star card or something. It's like right in here, and there's like this soft crease. So, anyways, I might have to put this one off to the side and find something else. That sucks. But yeah, when I'm looking at this, I might have to put that one off. That's probably not gonna go now that I look at it. Now here's one I'm pretty excited about. It definitely has some soft corners, but I think the centering's really good for a card this old. The back looks super clean. So that is a Carl Erskine right here. So this one looks really good. I'm really happy with the way this one looks. I can try to. You can see there the corners are, they're not super sharp, but they're not smushed in. There's not really any paper loss. There's no real dog-eared corners, so that's good. The color looks pretty good on this card, in my opinion. There's the back. The back's clean. So you see that there. There's nothing there. I don't know how well it's looking on people's phones or iPads or tablets, or if they're having it on the TV screen or whatever. So I don't know if it looks better or worse on there. So, but there's a kind of good angle there, less glare. So there's the back, there's the front. So I'm looking forward to getting this one graded. I think I have a handful of I think I'm gonna send off all the best looking Erskine cards I get, and if they come back at a higher grade than I thought, I might send off the ones I think are less desirable, and maybe I'll just use those to flip. So if I get some of these and they come back as 5, 6, or 7s by any stretch of the imagination, that's probably wishful thinking, and I understand that. But if it actually happens, then the ones I think that aren't as good, that might really be like those 4s and 5s, or even 3s, 4s, or 5s. I mean, sometimes those still go for a decent amount of money. I mean, I've only got $10 into the card and the grading, because these are, I can't even remember what I spent on these, but not much. And I can make 30 or 40 bucks off the card. And I already have one in my collection. I don't need two. The next one up, and this one's I'm really excited about here because it's in really good shape. And I believe this came from Andrew. Enough Said Cards. He sent me this, I believe. This is a 1958 All-Star Selection Warren Spahn. And this card looks really clean. I mean, I'm really surprised at how good looking this card is. So I'm going to send this card in to get graded. It looks fairly well centered, maybe a little bit top to bottom is a little bit off. I would say not by a whole heck of a lot for a card from I believe this is 59, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Some of them, when in these poses or these types of cards, I get kind of confused. There's the back of the card. So you all can see there. So it looks pretty good. Getting clean back. The corners are sharp, shockingly really sharp for a card that's 60 plus years old. Sometimes I think we forget about how old these cards are. I mean, this card is 60 plus years old. My parents were born in 54, and they're 67, going to be 68 this year, if I'm not mistaken, if that's right. This card came out 5 years later, something like that, 4 or 5 years later. So, so that's 61, 62 years old card. It's pretty crazy. So this is the Warren Spahn 58 All-Star Selection card, which I'm really excited about. And it's like I said, there's not really much to complain about this card. There's no creases. There's no really dog-eared corners. And here's one. This is like the big one. This is the big kahuna. I'm really excited about this card. I have no idea how it's going to grade. I went to an auction about 5 years ago, and the auctioneer had a binder full of cards, and it was mostly 80s and 90s junk stuff. But the binder had a couple pages of vintage stuff, and a couple. I mean, I didn't really go through it like religiously, like try to check out every page. But I was like, there was enough in there for me to go. I'll spend like $30. I mean, the binder by itself was like $6-7. So I'm like, with all the pages. So I'm like, I'll go $30 because there was enough in there that I saw that I thought, it'd be worth getting. So I think I spent like $30. I remember, 5 or 6 years ago, $30 was like, I felt like a whole lot to me. And I'm sure probably people were like, what in the world, Jason? But I live a very simple life. The old Japanese way, very minimalistic. I don't like to spend a whole lot of money on a bunch of stuff that I'm just going to end up probably not using. But this card was in there, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, wow, this card made the purchase worth every penny of it. And it looks great. I haven't seen a copy clean of this card from anybody anywhere. And I mean, like I said, I don't actively look out for this card, but I feel like it has a lot of potential. I say that, and I'm going to come back at 2 or whatever. But it is the Sporting News 1959 All-Star Selection, Hank Aaron. I mean, this card is like bright. Like you can tell, like this card, it looks like it hardly ever, like it was pulled right from the pack and went straight into like some kind of sleeve or a box or somewhere where it hardly ever saw the light of day. It doesn't, I mean, it looks beautiful. The back, I mean, it looks awesome. Right there. The back looks great. I mean, this card has like, it looks like to me, like almost perfect centering. It looks like it has 4 sharp corners. It says Hank's on his way to becoming one of baseball's greatest right-hand hitting outfielders. Little did they know, did they? Little did they know. So the only thing that could, yeah, the sticker on the back is off a little. I think you are correct. So the only thing that could go wrong with this is there's something that I just don't see, like, that's obvious. And I'm not saying again this car's going to be like a 9 or a 10, but if I can get anywhere near a 5 or a 6, that'd be awesome. You know what I'm saying? Anything over that would be great. But it would suck to get like a 2 or a 3 on it. But it is what it is. And I send them off not to try to get a high grade. We all want that, but I'm not necessarily into that. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't want to come back and have one that's like a super low grade either. I mean, let's be honest. But so the only thing that would bother me, of course, if it comes back and it was altered in any way because it was in somebody else's collection. So unless somebody manipulated this and like trimmed it in some way, which again, it's hard for me to ever. That to me, it's kind of hard to figure out between trimmed or if it's just like a miscut. Like to me, it's hard to tell when it's a miscut unless it's just obvious. Sometimes, it's beyond my purview. But anyways, there it is. I think it looks a good-looking card. I'm hoping it comes back. And if I get a 7, that'd be awesome, Patrick. So yeah. I mean, like I said, I definitely understand it's not gonna grade super high. I'm not expecting it to. Like I sent my first order in, guys. I think if y'all watch that video, I sent my first order in and was surprised at the grades. And I mean, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but if you all watch that video, I just eyeballed the cards. I didn't use a loop. I didn't use like some floodlight. I didn't ask 15 different people their opinions. I just, eyeballed it. I looked it over with, in a top load. I took it out in the penny sleeve and just kind of looked at it and was like, all right. And I sent in, it was like 11 cards or 12 or 13 cards. And for every card was an 8 or a 9 except one was a 6. It was the Don Mattingly rookie card from, I believe, Opeachy or Nestle, maybe Nestle. And that was disappointing because it's like 2 grades off the 8, which is what you're okay with an 8. But with being a 6 was kind of like, man, that sucks. But it is what it is. But for all the other 80s and 90s cards, I got 8s and 9s on, and I had a few modern-ish day cards, and they got 9s, which is a typical thing right now. It looks like is a lot of people are getting back on modern day cards 9s, and they claim these should be 10s. And so for somebody like me who is not in the situation where I'm like claiming that they should be 10s, like this is a guaranteed 10, I know it, and then getting back a 9, this is more like I'm hoping this is a 9. If it's a 10, that's even better. That's my approach. So I think since that's kind of how I viewed it, and it worked out that way in my favor, I was happy with the outcome. So we'll see. We'll see how things shake out as this order. But I sent an order to my buddy, and he's gonna send the first order, and that was like that. What is it? Not it was modern cards. It wasn't ultra modern, because honestly, $12 a card I can get on board with, and $10 a card I can do that very comfortably. But when you're doing the ultra modern and it's $15 a card, I feel like that price is pricing it because there's flippers and they're trying to flip cards quickly, and that's not really me. Like, I don't want to do that. So for me to send in an order of ultra modern, I mean, we're talking about I'm probably going to send in like 5 cards or something like that. I don't know if I want to send in 10, 12, 15, 20 cards. So we're talking about hundreds of dollars. And for me who wants to keep like 95% of the cards, I just don't have the kind of financial resources to make that, like, justify that type of monthly commitment or whatever. So I've already told him, I'm like, on the ultra modern, I'm gonna let him take the lead on that. I'm like, hey, you tell me how many cards you might need to fill out a 20 card order or whatever, and I'll send you the difference. I'll send you the 3 or 4 or 5 cards or whatever, just so I can have a few cards in return to help you out or whatnot, or to help alleviate some of the costs for you. So I feel like I'm more comfortable in that. Like, I think this year it's 17 to 72 is modern, and then 71 and older is vintage, and then 18 to 2021 is going to be ultra modern. I think that's how it is, or it could be 18 to 2021. I think it's a 3-year moving scale. I know you all know better than me, but I think that's the way it was explained to me. So I might find some 2017 cards that might make sense, and I'll just have to go through and see how much I have, and I can justify an order like that. It just, for some reason, that $15 prices me out. I don't know how you all feel about it, and maybe some of you all can handle that because you're sending in maybe like half and half. Half the card you're sending in and you're keeping, the other half you're going to resell. And maybe you're breaking on a product, so you're trying to recoup your losses. Like if you're breaking 20 and 2021 cards, you need to recoup that loss. So you're selling off some of your hot stars or whatever because you need that money to pay yourself back or to make yourself even or whatnot. But that's not really my style. That's not really my thing. Like yesterday, I went to a Meijer here in Indiana, which, if you don't know what a Meijer is, it's basically a Walmart or a Target. I believe it's a Michigan-based retail outlet store, which is here in Indiana. And they had, I think they had a product called Elite something, like Elite, and it was like 20. All the boxes at Meijer are like $22, so it's like $2 or $3 more than Walmart. So it's like you're paying a little bit of a premium because you're not getting the Walmart prices. And it's called Elite something. I think it was like a Panini product. And then they had a Leaf product, and you were guaranteed 2 hits in the box. It was either 2 relics or 2 autographs, or I guess a combination of both. And both of those products looked more like prospecting boxes to me than they were of like modern day of current players. And I could be wrong about that. The Leaf product, it was a little bit tempting because you're guaranteed a couple hits. So for $22, $23, you're like, well, if I get they had Wander Franco on the cover, so I'm assuming it was going to be mostly prospect heavy, rookie heavy. And then they had 4 boxes of Topps Holiday or Topps Christmas or whatever. And I was really tempted to buy all 4 boxes, but I chose not to buy any. And I don't know, though. I looked them up online, and I know those boxes are going right now from anywhere between. I know, again, $23 a box with tax, so probably $25 per box for me. And then But I saw that a lot of them were going close to $80 per box online. But I don't know. Maybe call me crazy, which I'm sure a lot of you all do. It was hard for me to justify spending, basically $100 to and then the hassle of trying to send that off if it sells, and then send it off and make sure the person doesn't come. I'm always scared to send boxes of cards if people aren't happy with it and they try to tell you it's been damaged, and then they want their money back after they open up the boxes of cards. I'm always leery about that. I don't know if other people have had experiences with that. And share them with me if you do at the bottom, or if you're here right now. But I know that I've talked to many guys who run card shops or are kind of like online dealers, aka this is their like job or their side job. And I've heard like some horror stories that they, send in. They sell on eBay or whatever, sealed boxes of whatever the product is. The person somehow opens the stuff, they're not happy, and then they want a refund. And then because the way eBay's set up, they're going to almost always issue the refund back to the to the buyer, and the seller is left with no product, or they send the cards back. They're going to keep the cards that were actually good and send you back whatever the leftovers are. And then you have an opened up box of cards that are worthless, and you lost your money. So I'm always like super leery in dealing with boxes of cards. If everybody remembers Mike O's video, Mike O, had that like sapphire that was sitting from Topps, and the box both boxes, but one in particular was completely smashed. And the cards actually ended up being okay. And I think the box ended up being a dud of a box, which sucks for him because I think he said he spent $180 for the box or something ludicrous, something I would never spend. And then the cards ended up being okay, but then, like I said, they were smashed in. And I'm like, man, do I really want to take a chance of sending a box for $25 I might make 25 off of, or 30 and maybe more if I'm lucky. And then they get there and the person opens it up and says, A, the box was smashed after they opened it up, or B, they don't get the cards they want and they complain about it, and then they take it to eBay, and eBay rules in their favor. I just don't know if I want to deal with that nonsense. So, hey, what's up, Henry? Man, I love going to the Goodwill, dude. I don't usually have too much luck at the Goodwill. I always feel like I'm missing out on the Goodwill stuff. Like I see a lot of people do Goodwill videos. I still go there for like physical media, like DVDs and Blu-rays, because you still can find some decent stuff there. But I mean, here in Indiana, they're still charging like Blu-ray is a decent price, like $3 for a Blu-ray, which I think is very fair. But DVDs are charging the same price, and I'm like, man, DVDs now, unless it's something really rare or hard to find or out of print, charging $3 for a DVD, I just can't get on board with that unless it's sealed and it has a slip cover. Then I could be like, okay, maybe. But if it's, just whatever, like 21 Jump Street, and it's opened up and they still charging $3, I'm like, no, I'm not paying $3 for a single disc edition of 21 Jump Street. I'm not going to be your Huckleberry. That's right, guys. I'm keeping it classy today. I'm drinking mug root beer. You have mug root beer in your neck of the woods in America? So yeah, that's kind of what that is, guys. So I'm going to hop off. I just want to have this video just for the purpose of showing off the cards. I think this one I'm going to end up having to swap out with something. The Don Newcomb's too off-centered and maybe miscut. So I think I'm going to go ahead and hold off on that one. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with me and chatting for a bit. And thank you for watching. Until next time, peace.